modern world, we make daily use of products made from the industrialized area, known commonly as factories. These where we usually get our variety of goods. But did you know that way back then, almost all products were handmade and the factories that you see now did not exist? Industrial Revolution is defined as the changes in manufacturing and transportation that began with fewer things being made by hand, but instead made using machines in larger scale factories. Manufacturing was often done in people's home, using hand tools or basic machines. Industrialized marked a shift to powered special purpose machinery, factories, and mass production. It all began in the 18th century. In a little over a century, Britain went from largely rural agrarian population to a country of industrialized towns, factories, mines, and workshops. But in the middle of the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution had produced great changes in Britain and in Europe.
The first industrial revolution began in the 18th century through the use of steam power and mechanization of production. What before produced threads on simple spinning wheels, the mechanized version achieved 8 times the volume in the same time. Steam power was already known. The use of it for industrial purposes was the greatest breakthrough for increasing human productivity. Instead of weaving looms powered by muscle, steam engines could be used for power. Developments such as steamship, or some 100 years later, the steam-powered locomotive brought about further massive changes because humans and goods could move great distances in just few hours. The second industrial revolution began in the 19th century through the discovery of electricity and assembly line production. Henry Ford, 1863 to 1947, took the idea of mass production from a slaughterhouse in Chicago. The pigs hung from conveyor belts and each butcher performed only a part of the task of butchering the animal. Henry Ford carried over these principles into automobile production and drastically altered it in the process. While before one station assembled an entire automobile, now the vehicles were produced in partial steps on the conveyor belt, significantly faster at lower cost.
The third industrial revolution began in the 70s in the 20th century through partial automation using memory programmable controls and computers. Since the introduction of these technologies, we are now able to automate an entire production process without human assistance. Known examples of these are robots that perform program sequence without human intervention. Fourth Industrial Revolution. This is characterized by the application of information and communication technologies to industry and is also known as Industry 4.0. It builds on the developments of the Third Industrial Revolution. Production systems that are already have computer technologies are expanded by a network connection and have a digital twin on the internet, so to speak. This allows communication with the other facilities and the output of information about themselves. This is the next step in production automation. The networking of all systems leads to cyber-physical production system, and therefore smart factories in which production system, components and people communicate via network and production is nearly autonomous.
Power electronics in 1930 is the application of solid-state electronics to the control and conversion of electric power. Robotics in late 1950s. It was built by engineers to devise ways of producing automatic machines to speed up production, do tasks that humans couldn't do, and to unplace humans in danger. Programmable logic controllers in 1960. It is an industrial digital computer which has been ruggedized and adapted for the control of manufacturing process. Microcontroller, produced on 1971. It can be considered a self-contained system with a processor, memory, and peripherals. It can be used as an embedded system. field programmable gate array in the middle of 1980. It is an integrated circuit that can be programmed or reprogrammed to the manufacturer. Programmable Automation Controller in 2001. It is a term that is loosely used to describe any type of automation controller that incorporates high-level instructions.